Well, hello, maggots! I see some familiar faces. Don't know how you cheese brains made it through the first bootcamp experience, but let's get started. Today, we will guide you on your way to start buying your first airsoft kit. Now, for most of you, this is hard, because you probably didn't just win the lottery, so you have to watch your expenses. Anyway, don't expect to look like Viper for a mere 300 euros.
Exactly, coach, that's true. Thanks for the introduction, by the way. What's up, brothers? I'm Viper, and today we'll be talking about the next step to get yourself in the amazing airsoft sport. But first, we would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button if you haven't done that already. This way, you'll help us out to keep making these videos for you guys. Now, if you've never went to an airsoft event before, we recommend you to first look at our episode 1 of our Airsoft Bootcamp series. You can find the link in the description down below. That aside, let's jump right into it. So, when it comes to a quality starters kit, it's not necessarily about the best gun and accessories or stuff like that. Yes, we will talk about that as well, but the first thing you should truly invest in is your personal safety. For this, we're talking about the 5 PPEs or personal protective equipment. Here we're talking about your eyes, your teeth, your feet, your hands and your ears. If you make a good investment in this stuff right from the beginning, you don't need to worry about injuries that could have been avoided. And you also don't need to get more quality products over time, because if maintained well, they will last you years and years to come. This will give you the very basis to start and build the rest of your kit or multiple kits. Now, don't expect to spend less than 100 bucks on all of this. Remember, we're talking about your safety, and that should always have the priority to any kind of gun or piece of gear. So, what can you expect to spend on this? Your budget for this should be around 200 euros. Now, let us explain what you want to pay attention to and why this will come to the budget amount we just mentioned. Let's start with the most important one, your eyes. You cannot do airsoft without safety glasses, so you would think any glasses are fine, right? Well, the fact is no. You still risk potentially permanent injuries if you use the wrong kind of glasses. An example of the wrong kind of eye pro are mesh goggles. This is because your opponent might be using poor quality BBs, which can fragment on impact, and those pieces can hit your eyes and cause damage. So whatever you buy, don't go for mesh eyewear. You only have one pair of eyes, guys. So for the good stuff, you want to look for glasses that are at least ANSI or CE rated, and that also have some sort of anti-fog technology. And believe us, that will save you a lot of hassle. For glasses, we personally recommend the glasses from Edge Tactical Eyewear. These have a military-graded vapor shield technology, which cannot be compared to any other anti-fog technology out there. You can already have ballistic-rated Edge glasses with vapor shield tech for about 20 euros, and that brings us to the end of the first PPE. If you want to learn more about safety glasses, like fitting and maintaining them properly, you can take a look at the playlist link in the description down below. Next, we have the teeth. Just so you know, there are people that have had a tooth shot out or chipped off due to a BB impact. If you want to avoid spending big amounts of money on dental costs, then you better get yourself some sort of lower face mask or mouth guard. You can get these for around 15 bucks or so, but remind that a lower face mask also protects the soft skin of your face, because BBs have also penetrated some people their faces before, and a mouth guard won't protect you against that. Also notice that a simple balaclava or neck gaiter won't do the job. They will prevent BBs from entering your mouth, but they won't reduce the impact. The third PPE is for your feet, namely boots. These are important for a few reasons. Most importantly is the ankle support, especially for outdoor use, since there are a lot of spots where you can roll over your ankles. And guys, a foot injury happens really quickly and almost always means the end of your day. Secondly, boots provide a grip, which is important for slippery and vertical environments. Above that, Good boots are provided with a reinforced shoe tip so you don't hurt your toes when going downhill and hitting a rock or something like that. The last important thing, some boots are also featured with a text membrane which makes them waterproof while maintaining breathable. Why is this important? Well, because if you want to go play in wet weather conditions, you want to avoid getting wet feet, because wet feet get blisters and wounds over time. For boots, we personally recommend a pair of the Loa tactical boots, but this may differ to you because this also comes down to how your feet fit the boot. Now, boots will cover most of the cost when it comes to your PPEs and will come around 150 euros. If you want to learn more about fitting, lacing, maintaining your boots properly for tactical and outdoor use, you can take a look at the playlist link in the description down below. The fourth PPE is about protecting your hands. Gloves are especially needed to protect your hands against abrasion and splinters that come from the sometimes quite decayed environments we find ourselves in. Also, being shot on your hands can be very stingy, so wearing some sort of gloves will help you with that as well. For now, we personally use and recommend any of the Mechanics tactical gloves. These come at a price of about 30 euros. We will go deeper into gloves in the future, so if we've made it, those videos can be found in the description below. At last we come to the last PPE for your ears. Some fields allow the use of loud grenades called bangers, firework or even blank fire shots. These can reach up to 120 decibels, which can be compared to a jet taking off and will cause hearing damage if too much exposed. Especially in confined spaces like buildings where these things are mostly being used, it is vital to protect yourself against this and avoid tinnitus. This doesn't mean you necessarily need to have an expensive headset or so. Simple earplugs will already do the job, which cost you about 5 euros or so. So if fields allow things that make loud noises, please wear them and avoid yourself getting deaf. We will also cover this kind of stuff more detailed in the future. If we've made it, it will be available below. Okay, so now that you've invested in your personal safety, we can go over to the fun part, the airsoft gun. So as it comes down to the gun, there's one golden rule you need to follow. Don't start with any of these. I know a bolt action sniper rifle looks very cool, and yes, it's awesome to hit someone at quite a long distance while no one sees you, but we're not the only ones saying you should avoid them when starting airsoft. If you don't believe us, you can go ahead and ask around, and you'll see that almost all airsofters with experience will say you the same. The reason for this are the following. 1. A standard sniper needs upgrades except if you go for an already upgraded one, but in both cases you require quite a big budget. By the way, it will also require someone that has the technical abilities to install the upgrades if you go for that option. 2. You can only shoot one shot at a time, and while you do get a range when upgraded, you don't have the same firepower as an assault rifle. That's why camouflage is so important for the sniper role. 3. You need to have some experience in the sport to take in a sniper role, since this requires you to estimate distances and be familiar with things like a hop-up unit. And 4. You need to be aware of where you need to be to support your team as a sniper. So guys, take our advice, don't do it when starting out because you risk becoming frustrated and quit this amazing sport while you haven't even started. Instead, you want to go for a platform that's familiar to nearly every airsofter in the world, namely an M4/M16 AEG platform. Of course, the M4 model is just a recommendation because we know some people don't like the looks of them. So why an AEG? Because they come with a good price-quality ratio, they are reliable in both hot and cold weather conditions, and they are highly upgradable and customizable. So why an M4/M16 style platform? That's because these are very common in the airsoft world and most people can help you with any sort of problems if they occur. And you can mostly exchange magazines with buddies in the field if you run out of ammo. If you want to put a price tag on a good quality gun to start with, that's reliable and where you can build upon for the future to come, you should be spending about 300 euros on the gun solely. As an example, to start with a quality gun, G&G is a highly recommended brand amongst the community, both players and quality shops alike. Now, if we add the gun to the previously discussed safety PPEs, we're now about 500 euros. So you see it's building up quite fast, and that's even without batteries, a charger and magazines. Now, besides this information, on our next bootcamp episode we'll go deeper into what's somewhat the ideal airsoft gun for a starter to look for by showing you this example, and why it's important to spend at least about 300 euros on such an airsoft gun. We'll also cover batteries, BBs, a charger, extra magazines and a case for storage. So if you're interested in that, be sure to keep an eye out on our third episode. If it's made, again, you'll find the link below. Now, the last piece of your kit is optional and would be something to carry a few extra magazines. We're saying optional because if you have some pants laying around with cargo pockets or a hoodie with side zippers, you can mostly fit some extra magazines in there as well. If not, we recommend to get yourself 1 or 2 magazine pouches, preferably from a well-known quality brand, and attach them on a belt on your pants. Why a quality brand? Well, that's because you want your pouches to fit properly and last a while. Also later, if you decide to get a carrier, rig or whatever, you already have these 2 mag pouches which you can attach on it and put them to further use. You can get good quality pouches for about 15 euros each, and for this we personally recommend Tasmanian Tiger gear. So that would bring us to a total budget of about 530 euros for the PPEs, the gun and if needed 2 pouches. Again, this excludes extra magazines, a charger, batteries, BBs and a case if required by law for your AG. But don't worry, because we'll cover all that stuff in our next episode. Another tip we can give you that we've used ourselves back when we started was the use of an Excel file or just a list with the things you're aiming to buy. This will give you an idea of your overall budget and spendings and will make it easier for you to make decisions. Now, furthermore, we've also made some videos with extra tips for you starters out there and how you can even save money by doing some things a bit different. The links can again be found below. At last, a rule of thumb: don't go cheap, especially on those PPEs for your own safety. Remind that if you buy cheap, you buy twice, and then you've lost more money than the amount we've just talked about in this video. And guys, if you see tactical products with ridiculous sales, be skeptical and search for those products or brands. If you cannot find them on the web, it is indeed too good to be true and is just cheap trash which won't last long. So, as you've seen, if you want to make a proper start, you will have to spend more money than 200 to 300 euros, and we haven't even talked about camouflaged clothing, gear and any kind of weapon accessories yet. But as explained in this video, this is the absolute core basis you can build upon for the future of your kit. That being said, for you new guys out there that don't quite know us yet, we're also doing monthly giveaways of all sorts of quality stuff. If you want to get your shot at it, take a look at reganbrothers.com and visit our giveaways page. So guys, be safe, take your hits, enjoy the hobby, don't forget to subscribe, like this video and smash that bell button to keep notified for the upcoming videos, and we'll see you guys next time.